to the RYLACast, the official podcast of Camp RYLA, District 5810. My name is Greg Tepper. The man sitting to my right is the man they call Josey, Andrew Utz.
Hello, Greg.
How often do you get people saying Mr. Utz?
Not too often now, but growing up, it was all the time.
We had a lot of, I get a lot of email, as you can imagine, from Mr. Tipper, yes. Mr. Tapper, Mr. Topper.
Yes.
Mr. Pepper. Why'd you laugh at that one, Josey? Did you?
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
That does my name amuse you?
Yeah. Actually, you amuse me.
Okay.
In a positive way.
Is a dumb name.
It's
Tepper's
not a dumb name.
Tepper?
Tepper's a cool name.
I will say that it's a unique name, and it is the kind of name that is conducive to nicknames.
Like Tep?
Like Tep.
You good with Tep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You can call me whatever. The thing is, almost nobody, we're kind of in a very similar boat, that almost nobody calls me Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get a lot of Tepper, basically Tep and Tepper. Don't call me. Don't get any trickier than that. How about that?
Okay.
Don't come up with anything weird. I will say this, and this is probably embarrassing and something I probably shouldn't say on the podcast. So here it goes.
Here we go. Safe space.
Safe space. Nobody's listening to this. When I was in middle school, I was on the Coppell Middle School North basketball team. Not to flex on you like that, but you know, I was a very bad shooting guard. Anyway, we were at practice one morning, and this one of the coaches, who now in hindsight, I believe, would move to Colorado if he had the chance.
Oh, okay.
If I may, yes,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, really into skiing.
Really,
this is what I'm saying.
And relaxing.
Yes. And relaxing. He went up to one of my friends. Just apropos of nothing. I went to him and goes, let me ask you a question. Would it be completely out of line to call the clothes that Tepper wears Tepperware?
Man.
And that got back to me, and I was like, that's what? Like, what would make you think of that?
I mean, I
can kind of think like skiing. Yes.
But I will bravo.
This is not, but I want to be very clear. This is not an invitation. For you to come up with your own nicknames for my dumb name. Just call me Tep or Tepper, and it's fine. If you call me Greg, that's okay too, but it's kind of weird.
It feels oddly formal.
It does. So my middle name is I also gave it it's also my son's middle name is Haynes, like the underwear.
Okay.
I've got a lot of dumb things about my name is what I'm saying. But my full name is Gregory Haynes Tepper.
Okay.
Which somebody once told me sounds very regal.
It is. Yeah.
Gregory Haynes Tepper. What's your full name?
Andrew. So this before I say it, no correlation. And that'll make sense later.
Uh-huh.
Andrew Joseph Utz.
So there was really
zero correlation between Joseph and
Joseph. So Josey and your middle name, they happened completely separately.
Yep.
You're sure?
I am 110% positive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Thanks for listening to this dumb podcast. This is the RYLACast, official podcast, Camp RYLA District 5810. A little bit later, we will have a fascinating conversation with Ross Jordan. And Ross Jordan is, first and foremost, a distinguished RYLA alumnus.
Yes.
Distinguished RYLA alumnus. So much so that I expect him to wear a monocle to camp. Very distinguished. But beyond that, he's probably the most famous RYLArian right now. At least he's the most newsworthy.
That's true.
We'll explain why. Coming up here in the second segment, that is what we in the business like to call a tease. But for now, Ross did select a word for this to be the theme of this episode, and his word is passion. Passion, like the fruit.
Passion fruit.
Yes. I don't know if I've ever seen a passion fruit. I know what it tastes like because it's in flavored water and stuff.
Right. I've seen one, and I think it's got like a bunch of like points and bumps on the outside.
Does it have a bunch of seeds in it?
Probably.
This is a dumb podcast.
I apologize to Ross right now.
Here with
sorry.
something to think about on the topic of passion, we go to Josey.
Passion. Yes. So passion, I have a love-hate relationship with the word passion because growing up, especially in high school and headed out to college, people always said, yes, now is the perfect time to find your passion. So I went out, got my old backpack, and started hiking, searching for passions. And
Did you really?
Well, that's what my brain was like. Once I find the passion, I'll know it.
Oh, but you didn't actually hike.
Like, I didn't actually hike.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, this is something I don't know about you.
But no, it seemed like it was a thing that when I found it, I would know it. And that's not what passion is. You know, and passion has a lot of different meanings. You know, you can be passionate about one thing. You can be passionate about a couple other things. You know, I'm currently reading a book, Grit, by Angela Duckworth. And she talks about passion, and that there's different levels. And one of the levels is you find interest in something, and you just chase, kind of like I'm going to use this analogy. I'm not going to taint her book with my goofy head. Like the whole clown scarves out of a sleeve. Like you just unravel that interest until you've realized that you've done that interest for 15 or 20 years, and it's something you're passionate about. And so I was listening to some podcasts in addition to this one.
Yeah, I want to be clear. You are listening to this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good, because I'm not.
Oh, I'm not either.
Well, what'd you?
I said that because, I thought we were...
Well, okay. Yeah, we were both listening to the podcast because we definitely love listening to the sound of our own voices and hearing our own, verbal crutches that we all use. Yes, please continue to listen to this podcast. Go on, Josey.
Yes, and I unfortunately did not write down the name, but I am 95% certain it was something with Adam Grant from TED fame.
Yep.
I want to say it's like Work-Life or Work-Life Balance is the name of the podcast. But on there they talked about passion as a sort of, rather than treating it as something you find, you're not picking a tunnel necessarily when you are going through life, but instead of the idea of making a plan and implementing it, try this whole idea of test and learn, and experiment on your career, life, general hobby interests, which really broadens the playing field in my mind of just, I'm not going to find one passion. I'm going to find things that I enjoy doing. And then that's going to become what I'm passionate about, and therefore my passion.
Yeah, I think that passion's a bit of a Weasley word sometimes, because I think that it's a word that at its core has a really good, firm footing in being a leader. That I think you need to show some passion if you ever expect anybody to believe in what you believe, right? But I also feel like that often gets misconstrued for being very loud or being very energetic or being often overbearing. And so, like, on one hand, you're and then the other thing is that, you hear that phrase, find your passion, right? Find what you're really passionate about. And I also feel like that is that's something that isn't necessarily true for everybody. Right. That there are things that you have to continue to do before you're passionate about them. And the idea of just being like, oh, I'm going to show up and, I think there are things that when you are 19 years old that you're passionate about that you should not make your career, and I also think that there are things that you have to do for a while before you're passionate about them. Yeah. And I don't know. It's a bit of it's a good word, but it's a challenging word. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's a challenging theme in that regard because there's a nuance to it. Does that make sense?
It does. And along those lines, there was a comedian that was talking about passion, and he was kind of being a critic of a teacher that was saying, hey, find what you're passionate about, and then you'll never work a day in your life, and whatever you like doing, you're passionate about, and you can be successful. And he's like, no, don't tell kids that. Tell kids you've got to find a job. Not necessarily what you like doing doesn't necessarily make money.
Right. If you're passionate about video games, that's great, but you're probably not going to make a living playing video games.
Right. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, it's fine. But it's interesting because, like I said, it is passion with regards to leadership is like salt. Okay, here's what I mean by that. You need some. Almost everything, every dish needs some salt. You know what I mean? But too much, and it's like overwhelming. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But also not enough, and you're going to notice that there's a lack of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel really good about that thing that analogy I just came up with.
That is a nice analogy.
That's just where I'm at on it. Is it like I'm very glad that Ross chose this because I think it's a really challenging word. Mm-hmm. It causes things, makes us think outside the box. But yeah, I think it's a patience is a really is in many ways like there's a very firm idea of what patience is and why it's important. Passion requires a little bit more nuance, I think.
I would agree.
Okay. Thanks, Josey. That was really good. Nice little conversation there. Mostly about our names, but also about passion.
Well, yeah.
We've got a big-time guest coming up here in just a moment. We are going to go to the hotline and hear from Ross Jordan. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us on the RYLA. Josey, we've got a very special guest on the RYLACast hotline.
Yes, we do, Greg.
We go now to talk with our very special guest. Let's give it up for Ross Jordan. Yeah. Ross, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Where are we talking to you right now?
So I'm actually in Dallas right now.
Oh, really?
I got back home from Atlanta early this morning.
Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome home.
Thank you.
First and foremost, we've got you on for, you're in the news right now, but we'll get to that in just a moment. I want to hear first and foremost, we start these interviews the same way. I'm interested kind of in hearing your RYLA story, your experience with Camp RYLA.
My experience with Camp RYLA was actually amazing. Before I went, I wasn't sure what it would be like. I was very skeptical. I was thinking it can't be this good. But once I got there, the love was 100%. It was authentic. And everyone at camp was truly amazing. I've had friends that I've stayed in contact with since I went to camp, especially not knowing anyone going to camp. It was something that I truly loved in the experience, especially being able to go back the following year as an AC. And that experience was also just as great. So I think my RYLA story has been truly amazing. I've tried my best to stay in contact, and it feels great to be headed back to camp this year as camp staff.
Well, and it's great to have you back. You said your RYLA story, and then you said you're back in Dallas from Atlanta. So tell us about that in between. What happened after RYLA? Where'd you go after your AC year?
After RYLA, I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, studied kinesiology, and I've been planning to go back to RYLA every year since, but the past 2 summers I've been studying abroad. Last summer I was in Spain for about 5 weeks, and the summer before I was actually in South Africa and Zimbabwe through the Oprah Winfrey Foundation.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. What were those experiences like for you?
They were very interesting. It's a different sense of culture as well as just a different lifestyle to live. Being in a new place for 5 weeks, I got to embrace the entire tradition and culture of those different countries and embrace what the people bring and how it's different in America, and also the similarities that they have.
That's amazing. We're talking with Ross Jordan here on the RYLACast. I'm interested, kind of now. What's next? Your resume is very impressive. You were student body president at DeSoto before you go to Morehouse. You get your degree there. So what's next for you? What's obviously we'll see you at camp this summer, but what's on the horizon for you?
Yeah, so I've actually been accepted to Teachers College, Columbia University. I'll be in a master's program in physical education in the upcoming fall.
Wow, that is great.
That's really amazing. And now we mentioned that you are kind of in the news right now. In fact, it's been a bit of a whirlwind type of week for you. Would you mind kind of taking people through what happened this week and why this has been maybe one of the craziest weeks of your life?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the video, but this week at Morehouse commencement, the speaker, Robert Smith, he basically said that his family is writing a grant to eliminate all the graduate student debt. Wow. And initially, we all thought it was a joke. I didn't really comprehend what he said for about 5 seconds until we all thought about, did he really just say that? And we all stood up screaming, clapping, some hugging, crying. It was amazing. It was life-changing. It was something that I don't think anyone has ever seen been done before at a graduation. And it's been crazy ever since. Every news outlet has had an article about it. There's almost hundreds of students that have done interviews at either their local news stations or different national stations. It's truly been interesting and fun at the same time. It's overwhelming, but I'll take this any day because this is a blessing for a lot of us.
It is amazing. $50,000 of debt wiped out. It's really a remarkable story. So I'm just kind of interested. Has it sunk in for you? Because it's only been a couple of days. When we're talking to you right now, has all this sunk in for you yet?
Not at all. I don't think it'll sink in for a while. Like I said to many people, we haven't experienced receiving a loan bill or something in the mail saying this is what we owe. So we really don't know how much of a blessing it is yet until our friends or spouses or loved ones start talking about student loans, and we could just say Robert Smith took care of that for us. That's something we won't have to worry about. But it hasn't sunk in yet.
So I'm interested. We ask all our guests on the RYLAcast to choose a word, and it seems like you're in a unique position. Do you want to tell us what word you chose, or tell the listeners?
Yes, the word I chose was passion.
And
I chose. I'm sorry.
No. Go right into it.
I chose passion because it's something that ties a lot of the words into it. The first word I thought about when I think of passion is authenticity, and I've been very passionate to do the things that I love, giving back, even going to Camp RYLA. Just whatever I do, I always want to do it 110%, give all of my passion into it, make sure that I'm not cheating anyone, make sure I'm not leading anyone in the wrong direction, but always be real and 100% authentic and passionate in whatever I do.
He is Ross Jordan, a proud RYLA alum and now a Morehouse College alum. First and foremost, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but congratulations on the college degree.
Yes.
It's kind of getting lost in everything, but that seems pretty cool too.
It's amazing. Thank you again. It's been truly a long week. It's very exciting in the same time because it's not just me. It's my other 395 other brothers and college mates that have graduated as well as experienced these same interviews. I think we all feel like hometown heroes in a sense.
Well, I know that we're really excited to have you back at camp this year, and congratulations again on the incredible news this week, and we're looking forward to seeing you at camp.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks again. Thank you for having me. It's amazing.
All right, thanks once again to Ross Jordan joining us. I didn't realize he was in town.
Me neither.
I thought that I guess I kind of assumed, but you know what's weird? So we're recording this on May 22nd. I always forget that college ends way earlier than what you think it does. Like, because when you were in high school, when did summer vacation start?
That's true, like June.
Started in June, right? But college always got out like middle of May.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that always kind of throws me for a loop this time of year. Is okay. We can. He's out of college. He's had time to come back.
Right.
But what a remarkable story.
Yeah, and yeah, again, congratulations. Now I'm interested to talk to him some more. Actually, just about his decompressed time.
Yeah. So it's really amazing. $50,000 worth of debt wiped out by Robert F. Smith, who's a billionaire investor from Austin. He basically just went up there and said, "I'm writing a grant, and you guys don't have any debt anymore." Bye. It's like, what?
Yeah,
it's an amazing video if you haven't seen. And so, and yeah, Morehouse College is a small college there in Atlanta. So it's really, really cool that Ross got that gift and got that blessing, and now he gets to go on and chop it up there in Columbia. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we appreciate Ross Jordan hopping on with us. And now it's my job to give you something to leave you with. So we've talked a little bit about how passion has a bit of a nebulous term to it, especially with regards to leadership, because I do think that there are certain ways in which too much passion for a leader can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're so passionate that you are not listening to other people, if you have passion replacing some of the other values and some of the other traits that you should have, that is no good, right?
Right.
In many ways, in my opinion, I think that the job of a leader with regards to passion is to inspire it in others. That, yes, and we've talked in a previous episode about leading by example. The only way to do that is by having some yourself. Mm-hmm. But when you think about the role of passion in leadership, I think that the number one goal should be to inspire it in others, as opposed to necessarily overloading yourself with it. Because it's important for you to be fired up about what you're doing. And it's important for everyone that you're leading to understand that you're fired up about what you're doing. But at the same time, make sure that your number one goal isn't to be so passionate about it that you kind of drown out the other voices in the room. But rather, make sure that your passion serves a purpose to inspire that same kind of passion in others. That's the way I would sum that up.
I like that.
Is that okay?
That is A-okay.
Thanks. That is going to do it for this episode of the RYLACast. We really appreciate your time and attention. We really appreciate Ross Jordan for hopping on the RYLA hotline with us and chatting with us a little bit about his remarkable story there, and looking forward to seeing him out at camp. So thank you very much for spending some time. Please make sure you go and rate and subscribe to this podcast. And today, our antiquated way of telling people to tell people about this podcast is
writing it on a little grain of rice and then putting it in your rice necklace at the mall and giving it to your significant other.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be the stupidest bit. Thanks again for spending part of your day with us. And Josey, thanks for your courage.
Thank you, Greg.
We'll see you next time on the RYLACast.